So it was about 10 years ago. Every year for the last 15 or so years, my family normally gets a beach house in the Outer Banks, and we have been staying in Hatteras, Cape Hatteras and stuff, so pretty far south, as far south as you can go before you have to hop on a ferry and go over to Okra Cove. So it's, fairly secluded as far as tourist beaches go. There's not a lot of hotels or anything like that. It's all just beach houses. So 10 years ago, we were there, and we like to go out, in the evenings, especially whenever there's not a moon, and just go look for shooting stars, that sort of thing. Go out on the beach, and, just look at the sky. And perfect conditions to go out onto the beach at night and do some stargazing. And we walked out. It was the group of us and the only other people on the beach at the time. I distinctly remember there's like a group of drunk guys, right, that are hanging out sort of back in the dunes that we walk past on the way out to the beach. And they're just kind of being loud and obnoxious and stuff, like in an otherwise sort of peaceful evening, right? And so we're watching, shooting stars and this and that. And there's a huge military presence in that area, right? So we're used to seeing all sorts of weird stuff in the sky. Afterburners kicking on and all sorts of weird stuff happening, right? But nothing out of the ordinary. So all of a sudden, everyone kind of goes quiet, and we're all focusing on what I would describe as a fat star kind of hanging in the sky. It was over the land, I want to say, from where I was standing. So I was kind of looking back, turning back towards the land and looking, and this is miles and miles away. I could tell this is nowhere near me. This is just like a fat star out in the sky, right? And we're all kind of looking at it. I don't know why, it just had a weird glow to it, right? And I noticed that not only, is my whole family looking at this, but the drunk guys even have stopped and are silent at this point, and we're all looking at this thing, right? And all of a sudden, a few seconds later, it I don't know what the right verbiage is, but blinks up into the atmosphere, just shoots up at an insane, accelerated pace, right? Just straight up into the atmosphere, and that was it. We didn't see it after that. My brother-in-law's wife at the time was standing next to me. The only thing I remember was her saying, "Wow, that was not okay," and there was just this eerie mood on the beach, this, unspoken weirdness among everyone. Did we just see, a UFO? Call it what it is.
Wow.
So that was, like I said, about 10 years ago, right? And, what are you going to do with that? You go back to your life and stuff and, forget about it and everything. And then, what is it, a year and a half, 2 years ago at this point, there's a congressional hearing, and you've got, David, what is it, David
Grush. David Grush.
Yeah. Grush. And what is that, the Navy pilot David
David Fravor, yeah.
Fravor, yeah. And Ryan Graves and stuff are testifying and describing these UAPs or wherever they're trying to rebrand them as, and it sounded exactly like what I had seen, and this unexplainable performance, right? This unexplainable capability that they had, also witnessed, right? This crazy acceleration. with seemingly zero propulsion, right? It just moved really fast without seemingly, any sort of propulsion. So that like sparked my interest, and I kind of dove into things for a while. After listening to the entire hearing, I think I watched David on the like Joe Rogan and stuff. He had like a 3-hour interview on there, and I went and watched the Q&A on there, and I don't know, they talked about some things that just like made me uncomfortable. If you are going to accept that what the senior intelligence officer is saying is actually true. That's going in front of Congress and under oath, and I understand people can lie under oath, but you've got a very senior Navy pilot too, leader of the Black, Spades or whatever they call it, and so they're describing this vehicle that had the exact same performance capabilities of whatever I saw in the sky. And so I kind of forgot about it, for about a year or so. And then I was watching, The Daily Show, maybe a month and a half or so ago. And I saw, Luis Elizondo was on there pushing his new book, Imminent. And I don't know, I trust The Daily Show more than a lot of other news sources, right? So I was, kind of listening to this guy with a little bit of, credibility. I don't know. He could be, he claims he is. I understand he could be fabricating everything and stuff, but he calls out some pretty big names in his book. Harry Reid, whatever the Mellon guy, like as in Carnegie Mellon, I forget his first name, but he was like involved in this Pentagon UAP program that was, I think I'm getting this right, funded by Harry Reid, because of personal experiences that Harry Reid had.
Yeah, ASAP and AUTIP, I think was the name of it.
Yeah, right. And I just saw today, I haven't had a chance to listen to the congressional hearing from today, but I guess there's like some new 12-page document that they released, and I haven't had a chance to go over, but some program called Immaculate Constellation or whatever.
It's the new, because they said they said there wasn't any more collection programs, and it turns out there was another collection program.
Oh, okay, all right. So that's like the new revelation. Okay, all right. Because I know that, yeah, Louise's program, I think, eventually must have gotten shut down or ran out of funding or whatever.
He left it to bring the
disclose things, right?
Yeah, and then that kind of ended it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's interesting that they have an ongoing new program, but of course they would, if anything that's the thing, if any of these dozens of insane claims that Louise is making in his book are true, like, all of them are earth-shattering, life-changing. My entire, scope of reality has changed if any of these things are true. So it's just, I had like a little bit of a mental breakdown after reading his book, a month and a half or so ago, and kind of went from this, I've always been a believer, casually, that, there's just the probability of life out there is just too great, for there not to be other intelligent life out there in species and stuff. But I kind of went from being sort of a casual believer to being like, okay, I actually believe in that there's, I probably saw either a man-made copy of this technology or a alien in a UFO, flying on the beach. I don't know. That's just like, that's really difficult. It's really difficult for me to accept, though, still. It could have been anything. It could have been, some sort of new military technology that I just don't understand, or something, I have no idea. But,
let's talk about that again. So when you saw it shoot up in the air, or you just saw the object move without...
Not at all. We just saw the star shoot up into the sky.
So
straight up.
No propeller, no exhaust, no...
Nothing. No, just a bright light that shot up into the sky. Yeah. After hovering there for a while, Yeah, it was very bizarre. I just read the book Imminent, right? And I was talking with a dad at one of my daughter's practices and stuff about it. And before I could even say it like that I had like an experience, right? He stops me and says, "Now don't think I'm crazy, but okay, like I was camping out on my, remote property in West Virginia. It's between Point Pleasant, which is Mothman territory, and Flatwoods, which is, Flatwoods monster territory. Anyway, he's got this remote property that he has a camper on. Him and his wife were out one night in a clearing on top of a mountain, and watching the sky. And he said that I don't know, he didn't call it a fat star, but he described more or less seeing the same light in the sky right out in the distance.
What color was that thing?
White.
White.
Just white.
Okay.
Yeah, just white. Just a bright white light.
What would you say the diameter of the fat star was, like up in the sky?
I couldn't. I couldn't place it. I have no idea how far away that thing was. I have no idea.
If compared to the moon, was it bigger or smaller than the moon? You say fat star. How big of it?
Definitely smaller than the moon. I would say twice the size of the brightest star in the sky. That's what I would say.
Okay. So like, and everybody's watching it. It shoots up in the air, and then it's gone.
Yes.
Okay.
And it just has a different light, right, than an actual star.
Like, it shot up versus going down.
Exactly right. Yes, it shot straight up. It went from that
rest, and it was at rest.
Exactly. Yes.
So it was a change in velocity. It wasn't like a comet or something that just kind of shoots across the sky. It was something just sitting there.
No, I mean, we can watch it. It does live those, like in an evening out there and stuff, and we've seen plenty of that, but none of us have ever seen it. Really, it was interesting because in the book Imminent, they talk about, you can kind of predict where these things are going to show up, right? They're near our nuclear capabilities. They're near these massive government or military, complexes. They're near water. And obviously, down in the Outer Banks and stuff, you just have, like, the recipe for, sighting something like that. So, that kind of really confirmed things for me too. Like, okay, the environment was perfect for it. But yeah, who knows? The dad that I mentioned earlier, the flight pattern that he described, he took his index finger. He said that the object that he saw in the sky, and then he said did this, and then with his index finger drew a square in the air, and then disappeared.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it just made these huge 90-degree, turns and stuff very quickly, and then, just blinked out of existence or wherever they go. Yeah.
So earlier you said it was you and your family and a couple of drunk guys. How many people in total was it?
Let me see. Okay, so my wife and I, my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, his wife at the time, and I would say at least 3 drunk guys. So there were at least 8 of us.
Oh wow, okay, that's impressive.
I mean, yeah, that was wild.
And it's always
everyone.
it's always good to.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's always when you see something like that, have other people see it too. That way, you know you're not crazy. You know.
Well, that's the thing, and so I brought it up with my family after all this stuff started coming out and everything, and everyone kind of remembers it. At least the position of it in the sky being a little different. My wife remembers it being over the water. My sister-in-law remembers it being totally over land, and I remember it being sort of right just on like the coastline, right, but on the land side. But everyone agrees, everyone remembers it blinking up into the atmosphere, right, like the really weird, exotic behavior.
Wow. And then
Yeah.
it's